Good afternoon. I'm Eric Koenig, Vice President of Strategic Marketing with Heritage Parts. I'm here with Robin Ashton of the Ashton Report, and this is day 3 from the National Restaurant Association show. And I think today the big theme that I took away from the show was digital transformation, and what does that mean? And so when I say digital transformation, we're talking about how customers interact with the restaurant and the impact it brings to production and back of house operations. So anything from order kiosks to online ordering to rewards ordering to the bringing in of Grubhub and Uber Eats and all of that stuff, there is an impact of a digital platform that now enters the restaurant. And I know Robin's got a pretty good handle on that as well.
Yeah, and it's beginning to inform my forecasting of the market because, as we said in earlier segments of this, the food service equipment market is quite slow right now. It's not negative, but it's quite slow, and we're looking for reasons that might be true. And I mentioned one of the 2 days that it's costing big chains and other operators a lot of money to implement all these technologies. But a kiosk at a McDonald's is $25,000 a pop, and that comes out of a McDonald's or a franchisee's capital spending budget, and that may take away spending from the traditional back of the house, the cooking, the refrigeration, those kinds of platforms. So we're beginning to think that's part of it. But the other side of it is I'm beginning to hear from operators and from other consultants in this business that they're not completely thinking through all the costs of the incremental sales they are getting through these channels. And my favorite little anecdote is, okay, you have delivery. You can order something from a restaurant, and you can go to the restaurant and pick it up. You can go to you can go through the drive-through or digitally order it ahead of time and pick it up at the drive-through, or you can have it delivered. And a lot of restaurants are charging the same menu price for all of those transactions. And actually the cost structure on each of those transactions is very, very different, which is why you are starting to see some chains charge, say, a 25% premium on delivery. Now, will the consumer go along with that? That's a question. But my favorite little anecdotal story is, if you order, whether it be by phone, whether it be by mobile app, whether it be online, a Domino's pizza, and you go pick it up, instead of having them deliver it to you, you were in fact the delivery service.
Yes.
Okay? And for operations that had not been delivery oriented and having to try to add that function into what they're doing, suddenly they have a very significant cost and infrastructure, that liability and everything else that they did not have in the past. Okay, and I don't think anybody is really charging enough to cover those differentials. It also impacts the restaurant itself. I mean, you can see it if you've walked into a Starbucks and have done a mobile order, and it's a little cubby at the end of the serving line. Okay, with a hot cup of coffee, that's one thing, in a cup that's got a top on it with their little wrap around it to keep it warm. If it's actually a food product, do you have to set up a whole new holding system for that? And where does that money come from? And will, again, the consumer be willing to pay for that incremental cost? So I think I think, yes, there's a lot of digital transformation, and yes, it's going to change the way we do things, but we haven't fully integrated all of the systems and all of the things that have to be spent to make that happen efficiently. And we haven't even talked about the quality degradation you get through the delivery process. That is a whole another area that really has not been.
And then also even, we always talk about restaurants trying to restrict their footprint.
Right.
Now we've got incremental sales through delivery and the different channels that you can deliver or pick up. So contraction, yet we may need to start seeing equipment that allows for expansion again, because we've got to have two separate lines, one that's delivery only,
Yes.
one that's in-store only, and
Think,
off we go.
think about most QSR drive-through setups. They're all separate. The cooking platforms may be single,
Yep.
but everything else, beverage stations, everything else is a separate deal.
Yep.
Okay, and that costs $50,000-$100,000 over the years to make that happen.
Yep.
Now it drove a lot of incremental costs, so it was worth it. So we'll see whether the digital transformation does the same thing. So anyway, we just would like to invite you once again to come hear about all this stuff when we do the E&S Market Forecast, August 5th and 6th at the Westin O'Hare in Rosemont, Illinois, technically, not Chicago, though it's right by O'Hare. And you can sign up online at the Ashton report. We've got a registration button on that site. And we want to thank our friends at Heritage for, first of all, having fun with us for 3 more days and being able to shoot this out to you. Let me pontificate some more. And of course, we greatly appreciate Heritage's sponsorship of the forecast and of the Ashton Report e-newsletter. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Be well.
So, day 3 from National Restaurant Association 3.
Bye.